Welcome back. Well, given the internet, that my internet has been such a problem, I didn't anticipate OBS just shutting down. So that's a little... Anyway, we'll see how long this goes. I thought it just locked up. The wild thing is I haven't had problems with OBS specifically in a while, so I like that won't be the problem. It'll be my cameras, it'll be the internet connection, it'll be YouTube. Anyway, don't even remember what I was talking about. I need a couple tiles here. So what I should have been doing also is throwing some rolling hills and stuff up here. So I might get a few plates and bring this back end up a little bit. So we'll see. It could have been. Well, I mean, I don't have any idea if my internet was fine or not. Like I think the problem that I've been running into is that it has a jitter, which means it doesn't disconnect, but for whatever reason, it gets a really latent ping. Like it takes a really long time to get communication back. It's not a disconnect. It just goes, hang on. But it does that like 4 or 5 times in a row. And so then everything that's dependent on that, like a stream, like an open connection to a remote desktop or a VPN, will stop. But sometimes when you're watching a YouTube video or TikTok or something where it's sort of buffering it, you know, it'll go another 10, 15 seconds. And if there's an interruption, it'll play what it has and then try to catch up. So, I don't know. Yeah, it's really frustrating when I'm trying to do my job at work and my internet goes out. So, as I was saying, I thought that Pokemon stuff comes out tomorrow, right? Doesn't it? I think I'm gonna need a few more, but I think I can fill in. Oh, nice. What part of Austin? I guess it doesn't really matter. Austin. I wish I had the semicircle tiles in a larger quantity. I don't have too many of those. I think because they just assume that Pokemon is going to be huge. And they're probably right. Pokemon's going to be a pretty big deal. Gold is not a good color to have in the tar. Oh, I know where that is. Yeah, Flores. Yup. I'm also going to put a bunch of cheese wedges in here to kind of give it a little texture. Those 1x1 round bricks would be great in here. But I don't have a lot of those. And the ones I do, they're white and nougat. So. Oh, February 27th is Pokemon Day. Because that's when it was released originally. Like the card game or like Pokemon Red. What part of that was released? That is blue. Nope, that's black. Yes, Vince. I think we were discussing that before we got cut off. I don't remember at what point I was looking busy or what I was doing, but it was probably just talking with people. So I don't know that I was actually very busy or not. I know my oldest was on the capo stand again. They were on the 102 capo stand. 10 shoe. I don't know why it's called that, but... Wish I had more black tongue depressor pieces. I thought I had more of those. Yay! I was probably in the not the very back, but probably about 2/3 of the way back. I was behind a couple Minnesota flags. Hoping to go to Terry Black's. That's always a good place to go if you're in Austin. All right, that looks good. That's what we got for the tar people in the back there. Kind of spooky. Ooh, scheisse. I don't know what happened to that antenna. It's probably under the computer by now. Some of this feels like it's pushing too far in. I'm going to move some of these over here. Yeah, Cool. I'll get some more of those antennas over here in a second. So ChatGPT's mock for me was super involved, but I did it best I can. It was a bit elaborate, less than 2 hours. Nice. Very cool. Hello, Dusty. How are you? Hopefully we survive the rest of the night without any technical issues. Also drove by the Bluebell factory in Brenham. Cool. Yeah, when we lived in Austin, but family in Conroe, we would drive through Brenham a lot. And we would take basically 290 until it hit Brenham. And then normally when you go to Houston, you just keep on 290. You have to do a little, it's a turn. Like, it doesn't just continue. You have to turn and get back on. But if you stay on it, it turns into 105, which then goes into Conroe. And it's pretty much a straight shot. But it takes you kind of through Brenham a little bit, like downtown Brenham. And so you go by the college. The Bluebell factory is a little farther down the highway, so we don't see it all that much. And then you drive through Navasota and I forget what the other town is over there. Anyway, am I going to get the Project Hail Mary set? Hopefully next year. I'm putting everything that comes out this year on my list and try to get it next year. I got to remember, like, the Iron Man set I really want. The art set, the new art set that's coming out I really want. Just trying to keep a mental and physical list of the things that I want so I don't forget them. So, all right. So I'm going to put these pieces up for now. I'm going to keep these guys out just in case I want to work on the big guy here. These guys I'll keep out. These I don't need. These I don't. Oh, yeah, let's put some strings on these guys. I got a mess. I got a spider webs full of these shorter strings that are perfect for this project. I think I can get 3 on each. So I didn't bring up what this was for. There's a pop culture, there's a Comic-Con at Round Rock High School this weekend, and we're going to be the lug will be there. Some of the lug will be there. Handful. I don't think too many. But the idea is to bring as many pop culture references as you can. So I'm probably going to bring Microfighters and Horizon Zero Dawn, and then just set up as much as I can before it's time to go. And then just start taking it down real quick because we got a movie to go see. We're going to go see Scream this weekend. And then I figured this was a good one because it's a video game. So we'll see how it goes. Are we playing Who's That Microfighter? Not today. Today is Death Stranding. I wish these guys, I wanted to get the same neck things, but in black, but I didn't have any, and I'm not going to be able to get them in time. So they're just going to be attached to their legs and hands and stuff. And usually in the game, it's just one umbilical strand that comes from the navel, but they get weirdly spread around as you attack them and stuff. They move around and stuff, and they get wispy, and it looks more like that. So that's what we're gonna do. How are you doing, Dusty? How's things? I could do this. Oh no, I can't do that. Okay. How did your game go? the chat solve Mario. That looked fun. I had no idea what was happening, but I hope everybody was able to get the guy going. Oh, I see. Yes. So yeah, that's just something. I don't know where I got the idea for that. I think I was watching a Kevin Hinkle stream, and he had all his artwork on a slideshow. So at one point, I had an artwork slideshow as well when I was drawing robots and cartoons and stuff. God, what is going on? Everything's so taut. Not even going to try to spell that. That's a nice French word. I like. Trying to remember that word. It's silhouette. So S-I-L and then the H, who, and then E-T-T-E. So it's a small silhou. I don't know what a silhou is, but silhouette means small, whatever that word is ahead of it. So I think silhou is like shine or cast or something like that. And then so it'd be a small version of that. It's French. It just means a shadow, but it may mean small shadow. Chat did beat Mario and Mario 3. Nice. I watched it for a little bit. Like it just seemed like trial and error. So you just, the strings would get longer and longer. And then you'd get to a point where you're like, okay, here's a good stopping point. We're going to start from here and then make another string. And then after a while, it's just like string, 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 string. And then it would do it and then do it. Is that kind of how it ends up being? I'm going to go get some, I don't have 10 of these anywhere. Extra ones of these. Nah, that's too big. Speaking of video games, yeah, a cigarette is a small cigar. A minuet is a small menu. I don't know. Let's do this right here. And we'll fill the areas in between with plates. Hey, no, you don't get in there. No. You'll pull that whole thing down on top of you. Stupid cat. Oh, nice. Oh, 200 character limit. That is actually quite a bit for the chat. Hey, I said get the heck out of there. Yeah, you can sit up there. That's fine. Do you want me to move the notebook? Okay. All right, I'm going to go get some plates. I'll be right back. to see if I have some slopes. I don't go too crazy with this, but a medium to large plate and not a platelet. So yeah, a plate and a platelet. Like your blood cells are a platelet. It's a small plate. I like playing the game when I'm getting tan pieces of, is this tan or is it faded white? Is it yellowed white? Smash that like. Sorry, I drifted away for a second to get some pieces, but I should be done. I'm just going to throw out what I have on here for now, not get too carried away. Because then after this is done here, I can go back later. Because this is for Brick Rodeo, but I just kind of want to get something done for this weekend. So it doesn't have to be perfect. So speaking of games, I've been playing a game, an older game called Control from about 7 years ago. It's a really, really wild game that I think I'm hitting at just the right time because I'm also reading a lot of the SCP site, which you guys not aware of SCP. It's it's a collaborative writing project, but it's spooky. It's got weird explanations about supernatural things that are supernatural, but they are explained with science. But the idea of what exists in the world is written on this website, and it acts like a wiki. And there are like some narratives that are like longer stories, but for the most part, they are written like journal entries or articles describing some sort of phenomenon. And in a lot of cases, that phenomenon happens to be like a some sort of object or idea. And the cooler ones come from this, and I've talked about this, a group of stories called There Is No Anti-Memetics Division, which is really fun. So this game Control it's not based off this, but it very much is inspired by it. And I think even the creators have said, yeah, this is very much kind of in line with SCP as a whole. So inside the universe that that these people have created. If you want to get kind of the highlights of it, there's actually a book called There Is No Anti-Memetics Division. And it's all the collected stories written by, or all the collected articles written by one of the users on the site named Quantum, so QNTM. And it's the articles that they've written that are kind of combined into one story. And it's one story in that it's kind of a main character going through several kind of chunks of it until what appears to be their last mission. So, but she's dealing with different anti-memes, which are pervasive creatures or concepts or constructs that have invaded our space, our reality, but are doing their best to erase everything about themselves so that they can basically wipe out life in our reality. But it's hard to fight them because you can't find them. Because every time you look at it, you write it down, you take a picture of it, you talk about it, it does its best to erase all that. It's really fascinating. Like, I feel like this and the other SCPs that they talk about, which are memetics and altered world objects and things like that, is kind of a good movement in science fiction. Like, it's a good current movement in science fiction. You can kind of look at things like Aliens was like a big one, and then alternate reality was a big one, and AI was a big one. And I think like these sort of supernatural but explained with science or fought with science is another kind of benchmark. I think we're probably going to see more of these stories. And this game Control is very much like that. Without giving too much away, you start as just this lady and you're looking for your brother, and your brother happens to be inside the Federal Bureau of Control. And you have something kind of glittering in the back of your head that is another entity, and it helps you do things. And then the more you go along, you get a weapon and you get different things that help your weapon. And then you get some powers and you get certain things that help your powers. And you make your way through this bureau, its building and its weird caverns and all this kind of stuff. Just sorting out all the mess that's in there. It's in a lockdown. And the story that unfolds with everything. But they've got really cool concepts of like, there's one area where they house a lot of these objects of power, and it's just like cells full of like a refrigerator or a swan paddle boat or a globe or, you know, something. And most of the times you can't interact with them, but in some cases you have to. It's part of the story. It's really fun. But I like the puzzle solving and just kind of running around shooting minions. It's the boss fights that are absolutely incredibly difficult. And 5 or 10 fights in, I'm like, nope, cranking down that difficulty to, you know, no damage and one-shot kills because I'm tired of this. And so I was playing one today. I think I'm good on the landscape and stuff. I'm going to kind of switch over to working on this guy now. Oh, camera's locked up. Neat. Yeah, it kind of like had a Warehouse 13 feel to it. Ugh. See, and now the build camera is just absolutely hosed again. What did I plug that into? Hang on real quick. Ah. I lost you at SCP, sorry. That's okay. Okay. So SCP is, did I lose you because you know what it is and you don't care, or I lost you because you weren't listening? Sorry. Oh, I'm going to put some of these guys on here. It's basically fan-written science fiction short stories, but it's a group of people who've come together to combine them to create kind of a universe where it's all these objects for the most part, and ideas and stuff. And it's a group of people that have come together to kind of try to protect humanity from these incursions of these objects. Try to get some in here. So it looks like they're coming over the... Keep grabbing the wrong color. Not all of it's great. I've been starting from the beginning, trying to read some of it, and some of it's fine. Some of it's really good. Some of it's really good ideas. But, you know, there's two camps. It's like everybody either tries to write something where it's the end of the world, but then everybody else tries to write something that's just a little goofy, you know? And I kind of like the mix of, it's a little odd. But if we're not careful, there are some things that will end the world if we're not careful. So those are fun. What's up, George? Hey, George, I have some figures for you. You keep not showing up to meetings. Nah. I hope everything's going well. I hope your new job's going well. Hope everything's up on the up and up. All right, so I'm going to kind of pull this aside a little bit. See if I can work on this guy. This guy's going to be a lot of back and forth getting parts, so I apologize. Life be lifing, I hear you. Let me tell you about my new hobby of going to the doctor every 3 days and not having my insurance cover F and all, any of it. Because I mean, my CPAP's working so well. So now I need a GERD study with a sensor in my throat. That's going to be fun. So this is going to be like a hand on top of his head. It's not going to be exact because these need to be a fist. But this should be, that actually could be a little bigger. So I might try to get 2 of these to actually make a hand. Because that needs to be a little bigger than that. That seems a little diminutive. Yeah, me too. I'm also on high blood pressure meds now that aren't really doing very much. They're doing a little. And then I'm going in for a GERD study, and I'm still got, you know, it's one of these things. Beth has been having problems with her PCOS and cysts on her ovary and tons of pain for the last couple weeks and going in for all kinds of scans. And it's kind of a madhouse. I'm going to go get a couple pieces. I'll grab that. You okay, babe? It's hard just going and playing with parts when you don't really know what you need. Camera still on? Okay. I did order a crap ton of parts for the stadium and all the microfighters, and I think I overdid it because these are all the leftovers that I extra ordered. I don't think I really needed a lot of these, but I got them anyway. Including, I don't know how they got this, but I got it too. This newish piece. So this piece used to be, there used to be like a camera or a little thruster bit on the end of it. So they just took that off, and now it's this multi-sided, too-high snot piece. And I don't know what set this comes in, but it's relatively new. Yeah, the problem is, like, I'll order from a brickling shop, and I only needed 2 of these, but they only have 6 in their shop. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to empty your, you know, I kind of want to be nice to them, and I don't want to make them pick out everything, whereas they could just dump a whole thing in here and be like, that drawer's empty. Like, I didn't need all those, but I got those. That's actually a piece I thought I'd need. And this is exactly how many of these I have. These curved 1x2 slope, right and left. I don't have any more than that. I've used them all. But now all the microfighters that I have are great. And I can start making stands for them. I will be probably doing 1 or 2 more before Brick Rodeo. I want to part out the Moya set that I just did. I guess that's... Huh. Thought I had more than that. Guess not. All right. Yeah. 2 L bars are clutch. So let's see. Kind of want to do 4-fingered hand here. So I'm going to see if I can... I don't know if I've lamented on the fact that I had... So the stadium is being built up. I got a bunch of parts for the seating section. I'm trying to get that done. And I got all the shops behind the section done. And then the stadium went and painted one of the shops. So I had to go buy some more bricks for it because I was like, come on, man. All right, and then that, no. It's a pretty good hand. Not too bad. 4 fingers. So we can turn this into a fist now. 4 other hands and then clasp them together offset. Yeah, these claws are great for hands. especially if you're doing robot hands or beast hands. Have to make sure to affix this well, or else this will fall off. But hopefully I can get these two to kind of be together up top here. These guys can go away. So there's a second hand, so if I can get them to somehow come together like that, because then they open up. So it has to be right and left-handed, I think. I'm gonna look really quick. I don't think there's a lot of images for this, but we can have a look-see. I'm also gonna move this out of the way real quick, because it's just in the, and this is all done. I've also been working on cleaning up the Microfighter Bible. It was I think was it Dusty who was talking about using some Chat GPT to clean it up, and I still might. So let's go over to design and look up Death Stranding 2 Giga BTS. No, Giga BT, not BTS. I don't know if I'm going to find a ton of images. Here we go. Perfect. So this is what it looks like. So this is the monster that I'm building. That's perfect. See, the massive umbilical cord goes down into the tar, and this is the tar. There's no water in this area. Everything like flows around in the tar. So I'm going to try to get, and the problem is it looks like a curled hand like this, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that with these. I could probably fudge it a little bit, and I can't really tell if that's like a full, like two fists like this, or if it's like if they're not joined. They look like this. But then you can see its hand is all tentacly. It's all bits. And then, yeah, the big umbilical cord coming out of it. I'm liking this. Those hands also look a little gray. So there is this part, Lego, and I forget which theme it is. Is it buildable figures? Actually, let's just go to Bricklink. Just gonna type fist to see what happens. Yeah, these. Hero Factory. I might actually have a gorilla fist, but I think this is too small, honestly. This might be a little better. Because it fits on the end of, and it comes in silver, all colors. Flat silver would be great. Dark bluish gray would be better. Let's see what parts are for sale. More options. Select color, known. Dark bluish gray. Oh, not many for sale. Oh. Except they're expensive. If I wanted two, it'd be $1. What about this flat silver? Looks like there might be more options. Yeah, 2 cents. Okay. So this might be easier to do in the long run. I'm trying to think of what a better way to do it now. Oh, I have an idea. Octopus piece. All right, so we're going to switch back to building camera. Hope I don't lose my camera. So these are great. Remember this build for if you want to make hands. It's 4 fingers. I know a lot of people like doing 3 fingers, but that'll give you your thumb, and it'll give you some movement if you wanted it to hold something. Not bad. If it focuses. 3 under there. So there you go. But I'm going to take all these off. And we'll see. Let's see. I've got a ball socket already up there. I got a toe ball up there already. So I can... Trying to figure out the best way to attach that. Because that's already built kind of way in there. I don't want to take it apart. I know there are socket pieces, but they're mostly plates. And I'd have to figure out how to make it go sideways. Maybe make it a little mobile. This is weird because this is oddly staring at you. This one, this picture. Like its fist is staring at you. But I remember like fighting it, it's just constantly like this. It's like you can kind of see it. The fact that it kind of went like this for this image, I'm wondering if this was made for like, not a playthrough image, but like just a demonstration image. This may end up looking more like a flower than a fist, but if you want to make a little weird little robot, there's a good stand for a weird little robot. Yeah, that'll work for now. Kind of, I'll put something behind it maybe. Yeah. All right, sorry everybody. Beth's in a lot of pain still, so we're keeping an eye on that. Not fun. All right, so this head is a little better. I want to try to bulk it up a little bit. Let me go get some. These are the two pieces I was looking for. So they've got these old. Yeah, me too. She's been through it the past couple years, but especially the last couple months has been really rough. And the worst part is, other than the pain, the worst part is not necessarily the validation, like getting people to believe that she's in a lot of pain, but like they just want to address the pain. They don't want to address the symptom of the pain. Like obviously the removal of an ovary would stop all the pain, but it would also immediately kick off menopause. So either deal with the pain and see if the cyst goes away, or take out the, like it's just, and in the meantime, she's in a lot of pain, so she has to go to the emergency room all the time to get Norco or morphine or something that'll kill it. But she's already been twice to the urgent care, and I know we're going to have a $15,000 medical bill or something. But not much you can do about it, man, when you're in a lot of pain like that. All right, so this is the kind of joint I was looking for. They have older joints that go along with this, but they're loose. They've got like, it looks like this. It's like 4 pieces, and it goes around the toe ball, and it's really loose. So we don't want that. Those are for like hitches and stuff, between trailers or train cars or something. These are more the hinge version, the Mixel hinges. So you can pose it and it'll keep its position. So now I just have to figure out how to attach that to here, because I think I did this upside down. So I'm going to flip all these over. Yeah, you don't want to go into the hospital a lot, because if you're in too often and you're just complaining of pain, they're going to think you're drug seeking, and they may stop giving you medicine for the pain. But if you are legit in pain, like she could go to another ER, but if it's out of the system, it may not take her insurance. And even then, just flipping these over, it's just such a problem. And it's been going on for years. So the PCOS is not a fun thing. All right. So how do I want to do this? Do I want to put these guys on the back again? I don't know that was adding anything to it. That should fit. Yeah, there we go. All right. I'm going to go get, let's see, how do I want to do this? Yeah, I wish these were silver. That would be amazing. I'm just gonna go get another one of those circles. Excuse me, baby. I know, I put that blanket there for you and then I keep walking by the blanket. I'm so sorry. Little one's like, you just keep kicking me out of my space, dude. Okay, I like that. Sufficiently creepy. I'm gonna go get a couple pieces to ensure that that stays on okay. Fortunately, they don't always believe you when they say you're in pain. Well, the other thing is, and I hate saying this, but it's women pain, and A, they're not going to believe you because you're a woman, and B, it's not like it's my knee that went out. It's the icky gooey women's parts stuff. And she doesn't have a uterus anymore. She doesn't have an ovary on the right side or left side. So there's no period, there's no cramping. Whatever's happening down there is now medical. It's not just, I mean, it's always medical, but it's not just reproductive stuff. Now it's just like pain. There's something in there. There's something bleeding, rupturing, you know, so it's a whole thing. All right, I'm going to get another round plate and a 2x2. So yeah, always a problem, and which means I'm always here for her to get whatever help she needs, if she needs to be driven somewhere. You know, I don't mind taking the time I have off of work. Yeah, that looks good. For now, that looks good for now. I'll get the regular pieces later, but so now his upper body's done. Get that umbilical cord out of the way. Now I need to work on these ugly feet. So this is the remains of what this was. I didn't build this from scratch. This is the Arshem frame, the Eternals, not Titans, what are they? The cosmic entities. I want to look it up because I don't remember. Marvel cosmic entities. They're not Titans. Celestials. I think they're Celestials. Yes, Celestials. And then there was a Lego set that was Arshem, I think. Let's look up appearances. Oh, not that appearance. Okay. Yeah, Arshem. Yep. Which doesn't look like that. But anyway. Thanks, Dusty. I'll let you know how it goes. So anyway, yeah. So this is the Arshem Lego set. You can see I took it mostly apart, but the frame itself is still good because I wanted to keep, the size was a good match for this. And it was fairly posable. So like if I wanted him to kneel or something, I could get him to kind of be in like a position that looked like he may be trying to fight Sam or something. you know, like that. But now I need to flesh out this leg over here. Looks like he lost his calf muscle, and then get rid of all this stuff over here. So this is next. I'll go ahead and start on that. I'm going to get rid of the keyboard. So we, you know, and we try all the homeopathic things because you don't want to have to go to the ER all the time. So, you know, hot showers, walking around a lot. She's on all kinds of meds for nausea and pain and all kinds of stuff. So it's just not fun. Don't need any of these side pieces. Keeping this guy. Keeping all those. That gets replaced. This is a lot of like, well, I got to take this off, to take this off, to take that off. So, nope. Took all those off. I'll replace those later. Thought I was able to just, apparently not. There we go. Oh, it's a lot to get this. This is a problem with like these brackets, is they're so integral to the entirety of the thing. Like to get that out, you have to take the entire thing apart. Like you just can't take one or two pieces off. Pain in the butaki. So let me go replace this piece and that piece. I'll be right back. Just trying to mirror what I've got over here so I can get it all back together. Fill that in. How goes it? All right. So hopefully the next thing that I will need to do for this, because we're coming up on the end of today, is figure out how to what's in there? Oh, that guy. I need to put his feet. I need to get things on his feet that will attach on, because I don't want him just standing there like this. He'll fall over. So on the water, I'm going to need to put some Technic pins and figure out how to attach them on here so that like most tall things in sets now, they have them like they build them into the stand basically. I may build him into the stand. Like I may take the floor bits out and like root him in there and just kind of build his feet around it just so he's in there, but be able to take it out a little bit. But that's next. So that's the plan for this weekend. Is there's a Comic-Con that we're going to go to. It's a kids and teens Comic-Con at a high school here in the area. which I enjoy those because they're quality spaces for young cosplayers and nerds and artists and stuff like that are sort of free, judgment-free zones. So hopefully we'll get a good turnout, and yeah, that'll be good. Hopefully. Don't know if I'm going to make it yet because obviously things are always up in the air. Why did it post hello? I didn't put that. That's weird. I didn't see it. Last thing I have from you is, yeah, I like it. You said hello like the very first thing. That's odd. All right. So let's take a look at his leg. So I put some brackets on that leg to try to figure out like ways to flesh it out a little bit, but I don't think I like that. I think, well, maybe. I thought about putting brackets on these so that I could do something on this side, and then something on this side, and then something on the front. But as you can see, the bracket math doesn't always line up. So I can't put like one piece of something down there. That is weird. All right, let me think about this for a second. This one's open, so we can play with this one if we want. Oh, it's also a little farther back. I don't know what happened there. It's all different. What did I do? Oh, that's why. Oh, no wonder. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, let me see if I can get this off here without taking it all apart. Don't think I'm going to be able to. So these guys come off again. And this guy gets replaced. That guy goes over here. No, that was right. Oh, there's another one there. Okay. Aha, 5 length plates to the rescue. So aside from MOCs, I'm very excited for the couple of the sets that are coming out, but I won't be able to get them for a while. Just saving up and stuff. But I would like that Hail Mary set. That's pretty cool. I'm looking to get the that Technic. I didn't realize it was Technic. The SLS Technic set that's out. That's the same as the one we have, but it's got that little bit of motion in it, which is really cool. All right, those are already beefy enough back there. I don't need those. Oh, that's why they were back there. All right, well, I'm a giant idiot. Went all that way. I just needed a 3. Did these not go on here? Oh, they do. Okay. Never mind. That still works. What is everybody else looking forward to this weekend? We had somebody coming in town, family member coming into town. You guys have any plans with them or just visiting? I think we already talked about that a little bit, but anybody seen any movies coming out? Or excited to see any movies coming out? I don't know if I mentioned it. We watched Together the other day. That was weird. Very trippy. Not huge into body horror, but it was very much this is kind of a parable on relationships more than anything. So it was really wild. Pokemon event going on. Yep. This weekend. That's very cool. Actually, I'm going to go check on Beth. So I think I'm going to be done for the day. I'm at a stopping point anyway, because I honestly don't know what I'm going to do with these legs. I may rip off these feet and do something different. I'll probably end up having to do that tomorrow night. It's the only time I have to do it because the event starts at 9:30 on Saturday. So I appreciate you guys hanging out. Sorry about the technical issues earlier. I'll check for Sunday, make sure I'm got anything scheduled for Sunday. There's a 1:30 game on Sunday, which means I may cut my stream short or not stream at all. It really depends on what time we plan on leaving, because the game's at like stupid early for some reason, and we usually try to get there a little bit earlier for stuff. So I will. Thanks everybody. I'll tell her you're all thinking of her. I appreciate the thoughts and vibes and prayers and stuff. So you guys have a great weekend. Be safe, build some stuff, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.